Well, if you've been following me for the past year, you would know I love Christopher Nolan. He's my favorite movie director of all time, and he's made some of my favorite movies of all time too. You know, The Dark Knight and Inception and Interstellar. When I first started this channel, all I talked about was Nolan. I had like a ton of videos in a row where I swear I just found myself talking about Christopher Nolan. And since this video is going to be all about Nolan, I do have a video from almost a year ago where I go through my top 10 favorite Christopher Nolan movies. And it looks like I'm going to need to update that list maybe in about another 2 years, because he has finally announced that his follow-up of Tenet is going to be another World War II movie, and apparently it's going to be about Oppenheimer and the creation of the A-bomb. Now, before I get into the article I want to read here, make sure you like and subscribe. It really does help me out tons. Now, the reason I want to talk about this is because, yeah, Christopher Nolan's making a brand new movie, and I'm super excited for that because all of his movies are masterpieces. But not only is he making a new movie, it's the studio he's making the movie for. Yes, Warner Brothers has finally lost their golden goose, the prodigal son, the man, the myth, the legend. They lost Christopher Nolan, all due to the fact of how Warner Brothers handled the COVID-19 situation when it came to movie releases. Movie directors, actors, all the behind-the-scenes workers, they didn't let them know how they were going to be managing the releases of their films and how they were going to be made available for streaming service on day of release. I have my opinions on that. I didn't think it was right. These movies are made for theaters. I understand the situation we were going through with lockdowns and closures, but they should have simply just waited to release those movies when it was a proper time to do so. After nearly 2 generations, after nearly 20 years of creating movies for Warner Brothers, Christopher Nolan has finally left. And Christopher Nolan isn't the only big director or person in general who is upset with Warner Brothers. Man, it seems like Warner Brothers can't keep fans, it can't keep workers, it just can't keep drama out of that entire production company, and it serves them right because every decision they make just seems to be the wrong decision. And it's very unfortunate for them because look at what's happening. I could comment all day about what's going on with DC and Zack Snyder, but you already know what's going on there. But now, you just lost Christopher Nolan. So now the question is, where's Christopher Nolan going? Because any studio that picks up Christopher Nolan, they obviously know what an asset he's going to be and what he can bring to the table at another production company. So the lucky winner is Universal Pictures. To be honest, not the production company I thought he'd go to, but not really disappointed in that decision either. All these production companies know that if they got their hands on Christopher Nolan, they would need to allow Christopher Nolan to put his hands on anything else. He has all the creative control. He always has at Warner Brothers, and he will continue to have that creative power no matter what production studio he works for. So I'm going to say Universal, count yourself lucky for this. So I'm going to read bits of this article and see what it has to say. It comes from the IndieWire, which is titled Christopher Nolan Exits Warner Brothers After Nearly 2 Decades, New Film Setup at Universal. Christopher Nolan is officially leaving Warner Brothers after 19 years. The director's next movie, a biographical drama about J. Robert Oppenheimer and his role in the development of the atom bomb, has landed at Universal Pictures. Since 2002's Insomnia and through 2020's Tenet, Nolan made all of his movies for Warner Brothers. Nolan's biggest films at Warner Brothers were his Batman films with The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises, both grossing over $1 billion worldwide. According to Deadline, sources said the film is now greenlit to begin production in the first quarter of 2022. When Deadline broke the story a few days ago about this film being shopped, I heard Nolan's longtime collaborator, Cillian Murphy, was in the mix for a key role. That might happen still, but I'm persuaded there are no definitive casting attachments at this point. Many in the industry expected Nolan to leave Warner Brothers after he publicly condemned his longtime studio for pushing their entire 2021 film slate to a hybrid release model in which titles debuted in theaters on the same day they became available to stream on HBO Max for 31 days. And for those who don't know what he had to say, I'm going to read it right now. In a late 2020 interview with ET Online, Nolan said he was in disbelief over Warner's handling of new releases, adding there's such controversy around it because they didn't tell anyone. In 2021, they've got some of the top filmmakers in the world. They've got some of the biggest stars in the world who worked for years in some cases on these projects, very close to their hearts, that are meant to be big screen experiences. They're meant to be out there for the widest possible audiences. And now they're being used as a loss leader for the streaming service, for the fledgling streaming service without any consultation. So there's a lot of controversy. And I would just like to state for the record, once again, I don't think I could agree any more than I already do. He was absolutely right. So I think there's a lot of excitement that is happening here. Warner Brothers must know what a loss they just took with losing Christopher Nolan. And Universal Studios must feel so excited to have a guy like him working in their production company. I mean, you saw from that paragraph there how Christopher Nolan felt about what Warner Brothers did when it came to those new movie releases going straight to streaming services. There's no way Universal would pull that same stunt to him just in case something like that ever happened again, or if there was another lockdown or whatever. They know not to do that to him now, because essentially Warner Brothers can't be trusted in his eyes. And I just feel it's like that for a lot of people who work with Warner Brothers, who direct and produce for them. I feel like there's a lot of trust that has been lost. But for the film's sake, we don't really know too much of what this movie's going to be about, other than the fact that it's about the A-bomb and the rumor of Cillian Murphy being attached to this project, which I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it if Michael Caine is attached to it too, because Nolan is the type of guy who likes to use a lot of familiar people in supporting roles. It's usually the main character that tends to be a different actor every time. But that's that. There's not much else to say other than the fact that, wow, you know, moving from Warner Brothers to Universal Studios. He's been with Warner Brothers for 20 years now. I'm sure it's gonna feel different. I'm sure this is a big decision. You know, this isn't something that you just wake up and say, like, I'm out of here. I mean, maybe it was made a little bit easier with the fact that he didn't like how everything was being treated with directors and movie releases. But still, 20 years is a long time just to get up and say, yeah, I'm gonna go somewhere new. He had a very tight-knit relationship with Warner Brothers, and more than likely the people within Warner Brothers, and, well, clearly a lot of that has changed. Now, you can obviously expect that when this new Nolan movie starts to get talked about and information is released, cast listing, yada yada yada, I will definitely be talking about it. For now, there really isn't that much to say about it other than, you know, 10 out of 10, Christopher Nolan does it again. But that is it for this video. So just like usual, like, subscribe, leave a comment, share, all that good stuff. And until next time, I will talk to you all very soon.